Welcome everybody. Yeah, so I posted two videos so far, and the problem is I just watched this video I posted. I posted this video earlier, it had some issue. Posted this video that again had like I was not able to put things in an integral method together. It feels a little bit scattered because when you create something and you have to recreate something, so it's never better. So to quote unquote compensate that, I'm creating a third video from a different point of view so that people can have a wider point of view. By the way, the reason for me to create this video was that there are a lot of violence going on in the world. You see, go to Twitter, anywhere. There are people fighting on the streets, groups are fighting on the streets. Everybody's fighting. And why are they fighting? How to stop that? So let me use this quote unquote esoteric just in a way to explain. This is called tree of life and can be seen as something positive spiral. I'm not saying to follow this thing. I'm just explaining you to I'm just explaining you using this because people connect with this esoteric stuff and all stuff more. So this is a tree of life. It has all these separate and then they have these connectors and all stuff. And toward the end, when you do things properly, you become king or something. Okay. Then we have negative spiral, where as above, so below. This is all from esotericism. I don't follow it. I'm just using it as an example. Then Lilith, Gamaliel, and whatever the hell, all these demons' names. Okay, so this is tree of death. So tree of death is where you put your work, and the reward is you become ultimate destructive force. Okay, in the same way, so this is why people do negative things. Okay, because they are going down the negative spiral, and they think that the deeper they go, the more powerful and knowledgeable and all that stuff they become. And then this positive tree of life. And as far as I've heard, I live in this world with the rest of the people, that there are certain secret societies, hidden things, hidden power, esoteric, exoteric, esoteric. Okay, so they keep something for public and for themselves something else. So maybe they're hooking people into this hierarchy, and all this thing also fall under Satanism or Luciferianism and all sorts of things. There can be multiple philosophy for these things. Now, how to develop self-control and resist against elites. So this was the topic. Okay, I will add more things to this. Now, you have to understand that we have to rethink. It's not a like it's more of common sense thing rather than something to you study in exams and you pass exam. So instead of taking everything I say as a correct answer, try to say what I'm saying and what does it mean, how it's connected, how it connects with the reality, not the exact words, but what is the logic behind it. Okay, so that logic is important. What I'm saying, the words, the terminology I'm using, it's just to create an understanding. Okay, so The day you were born until the day you're going to die, you are locked up in this world. Okay. I don't know what happens after death or before birth. So it's not even my concern. Like, for example, people, first, they did not exist. When I look about these things, how these things are, so I see these things like this. You did not exist, and after that, you existed. And a lot of people spend their whole time in trying to figure out that what happens after death or before death. What is this universe, this and that. Let's say all the things, whatever the hell people say about after birth, before death, this and that things. They have all sorts of philosophies about universe, and I say all these things are correct. All these things mean something, and they are saying right things. And let's say, but since you were not born, and these things existed, so maybe you were there, out there somewhere. You already were connected to that thing. What will happen if you understand this thing? Okay, in the same way, once you are going to die, what will happen after that? I'm not saying this thing to make you ignorant. I'm saying this thing to restrict, to reduce. Like, you can search your answers, soul searching, this and that. That's fine. But for the time being, you're alive, at least lives a little bit. Live a little bit. So I just showed you two tree of life. And those tree of life, people are either on positive spiral or negative spiral. And they're chasing something. So this chasing, this chase, madness, mindless chasing. If you're mindful, you're chasing something, and you have achieved that thing, you satisfied that, and then you moved on to second thing, third thing, mindfully, and they mean something to you, and they are like adding some value to your life, to your, and it's not in luxury, but these things become very difficult to explain because east and west have different definition. According to west, they are the more materialistic things one person gains, the thing more, the more luxurious one person become, uh, item he collects or she collects, the better the thing the life is. In the east, in our philosophy, we think that whether it's good or bad, both will happen ultimately. Even if you surround yourself with all sorts of pillows and all sorts of fluffy stuffs and all stuff, you can get rich, super powerful, this and that. There will be a time when you have to face disease, you have to face death, your loss, harm, this and that. They happen to everybody. Everybody lose their friends, family, they lose their body, mind as they get older, jobs, and all stuff. So we try to see these things as a part of life. So although there exist all sorts of things in the world, but chaos should be avoided. So in the west, people think that causing chaos and extracting things, materialistic things, this, they're going to satisfy themselves with that, and that's the problem. That is what is causing all these things in the world. Okay. And this blind madness, these hierarchies and all stuff people are chasing, that is causing them issues. They have all sorts of stuff. People have money. Billionaires have 13, 15, 50, I don't know how many billion dollars. $1 is 95 rupees right now. It used to be lesser, 65, but our economy got sabotaged by Donald Trump and their loser, whatever. Anyway, they corrupted our country and they tried to sabotage our country and destabilize. Okay, so $1 is 95 rupees or something, and they have billions of dollars. Just imagine how much rupees they must have. and all that money is sitting somewhere. It's not doing anything. If there's a currency is made for people to exchange goods and this and that. It's not for accumulating, stacking it somewhere. Okay. Because ultimately there will be entropy, and people will live in deficit. People will live in like the shortage of things or money or this and that, and they will suffer, and they will ultimately die. So usually these narcissists, they are blocking you from living a good life. And to change this thing, to revert this thing, to balance this thing out, we do things in a way like, if good happened, then it's fine. If bad happened, then it's fine. It's not that thing, like people say. And people don't care about anything. It's not, by the way, that thing. There's some terminology, I'm skipping that in my mind. Apathy. It's not being apathetic. Apathetic is not same as that. It's being compassionate, but also focusing on your life. Like if things are bad, you should be compassionate toward others, but also focus on your life. In the same way, it will reduce the damage. You have to take care of, you have to balance out the outer world and inner world. If there's something going on in the outer world, you cannot become all, you cannot destroy yourself for outer world. In the same way, if something is happening in the outer world, you cannot become apathetic. You should have compassion toward people. Even you can do little for other people, that is fine. Ignoring everything like crazy, this is not the way. You're not human after that. So let's return back to the topic. I was talking about in the video, this video, I've talked about how right wing, alt right, far right, right wing, and there are other hidden things. I don't know how many levels this thing has. I will blame it on the people in power right now. Okay, they blamed everything on democracy, so it's their fault. Not democratic. They destroy democracy, so yeah, it's their fault. I don't know what's on the topper level, but this is what I've observed. So these people, these right wingers, they have hijacked psychology, human psyche, and they're theater playing by satisfying their sadism. And they've declared the people from left wing, let's say, as the enemy, and they have been scapegoating. All these people from right wing, they are known for scapegoating people. Okay, if you look at the religious aspect of this thing, right wing is Christians, let's say, and everybody else who's not Christian is either satanic, demonic, heathen, or your what are other terminology, pagan, and they are all conjuring demons and all this stuff. So that's what I'm against. Okay, all the while they exist such elements because satanism is also there. They are a thing. So what we follow in Buddhism is the middle path. We don't care. We don't do this or that. We do what is right. Like for example, let's say if we look at Christianity, objectively in the sense, we are analyzing what Christians are saying, because Christians are self-righteous. They think what they are doing is the right thing, and everybody else is to be condemned and punished, which is wrong. If you see these things as Christianity, and if you know something about psychology, so they are using your elements as a human being, and they are like, they say that Jesus is coming, Masaha is coming, or your Jewish people, Masiha is coming, and they will save you and all stuff from your sin, you sinner. And Satanists, they say that we will do more sins that define people. So they are both our problem. Okay, those people who are calling people sinners, their problem, and people who are defying and abusing and harassing and attacking, mocking and all that stuff, they are wrong also. They are both destroying the reality, and they say that this is our stuff, this their stuff, and this is for people like everybody. Humans, we have, when we are born, we had access to all the things. Yeah, everything that exists we have access to. I want to behave in whatever way I want to behave. Okay, and it's not a defined issue. It's a issue that Christian says that we do all the good things, and all other people who are not Christian, they're bad people. No, other people can also do good things. We are not living in some 15th century or something. Okay, we are living in a place where we understand these things through multiple ways. So, for example, Christians talk about something positive, so you can also do that. You can use their description or you can use objective description of these things. Okay, the thing is, the problem is people are into fighting. They fight what they don't like, they project, they spread hatred and all stuff, and these things, they cause issues. Even if you engage in argument, in the fights, in blame shifting, blame, all these things, they take something away from you. Okay, so you have to live a life that is more connected with your life process than all these things. And this is the solution for all these things, by the way, as well. So you should live, you should keep your process of life. You're not as in selfish, this and that. No, you should keep it healthy, unaffected by all these ongoing arguments, this and that that's going on. Unaffected, directly connected with the elements of being alive. What these right wingers have done is they have weaponized psychology, they have weaponized everything. And left wingers also have weaponized all these ideologies that people use. They have weaponized and they are blaming each other. They're projecting it onto the people. They're saying, I am the good person. See, I'm doing this thing, and I am the good person. See, I'm doing this thing, and that left one, that right one, they're the problem. And let's bash them and shun them. And they are thinking that this is entertainment and this is funny, it's hilarious. In their delusions and in their hatred and in their ignorance and all stuff, and they're jumping up and down on each other's boundaries. So they are sucking everybody, people who are of new generations. They also, I've seen, I never seen this thing in older times, a few years ago. Like right now, children, underage kids, they've become violent. They're doing all sorts of violent things. There's a case from the West. There's a 14-year-old girl. She offed her mother with a gun or something. And she called her father, and she was also attacking him. So I never listened to such things to such level. So the environment, the general environment is disturbed. What these people try to do in the past few years, if you see, I've been seeing these things like when grew up, when I was growing up, 80s, 90s, late 80s, early 90s. It was really difficult to get your hand on anything, and it was not more like, it wasn't a problem of, maybe the production was low of countries and everything else, but it was more about control freakery. They would not let you have things that might, uh, like there was some elitism still going on. So there was things were scarce. There were less things available, and as I grew up, later on things became more accessible. But at some point, I felt that they gave everything to you. As a part of, like, some narcissistic play was there. So like for example, information was not available to people in the west as well, east, and now there's a overload of information. So this is very narcissistic. Now people cannot handle the information, and before people were kept depleted, deficit of all sorts of information. Okay, so these things cause some disruption when you don't have enough information, or let's say things that are necessary for your life process. Like you don't live in jungles, for forest. There is a system, legal system in place that says that will be able to provide you this and that, and that system is failing. It's not providing people things they are needed. And then they say that people are wrong, people are this and that. So what is going on is they have hijacked these systems, and they have hijacked the psychology, and they're keeping these things hidden. Like for example, if you talk about psychology has personality disorders, narcissists, and all this stuff. And since I've been through these things, so the people who were abusing me, I did not know that they exist, these things, narcissists, this and that. And those people, they were well versed in these things, because they already had narcissism and psychopathy. So what they do is they are making you react in certain way that they can later on label as narcissism. So they cause, they are doing this theater play where they ask you to participate in their theater play and to give reaction, so that later on tomorrow they can prove this to onlookers that you are the problem. Okay, all right. And this is, by the way, is going on. This is how people are being criminalized. This is how people are being labeled as mentally disordered. In today's time, this is how these people are entraining healthy people as disordered. These Epstein gang, something is coming from there. They're destroying everything that is positive, that is good, that is keeping people. Like, not everybody is born is evil and all stuff, but the world, the environment today we are living in, it is an environment orchestrated by narcissists and psychopaths, and people are trying to cope with it. And those narcissists, they are disconnected from this, because there's a term in Hindi, it's called bala talna. Okay, it's a part of magic, black magic and all stuff. What they do is, what people have, that what I have understood through psychology, it's called projection. So what they do is, they do these uh, I don't know how to, totems or something, totka, we call it totka. So what they do is, and it's not like magic or something, it's for their psyche to regulate themselves. What they do is, if somebody is going through some disease, disorder, this and that, what they do is they have these things. How do you call it? The doll. It's not about doll. They can be other artifacts also. So they make a uh, egregore, in a way, of some certain thing, and they, as far as I've understood, I don't get into all these things usually, but since this is a part to explain people, to educate people, so they say that whatever the hell is wrong with me, or whatever I have, or sometimes people do it out of jealousy, so they project that into that artifact. Okay, so this is some artifact. I don't know, there are all sorts of artifacts. Some have dolls, some have other things. There's a talisman, all sorts of things are there. Okay, so they project it into this, and now they charge it with it, and then they say that this should go to somewhere else and this and that. So in the same way, these right wingers do more black magic than black left wingers, by the way. Okay, everybody is superstitious, left, right, this and that. I've seen superstitious people who are mayors, who are doctors. I've seen superstitious people with PhD. Okay, so it's not a fact, it's more like a human element than has anything to do with some education. Education is not enough for people to get past these things. I've seen superstitious doctors, medical doctors with actual degrees and who are actually doctors and operating people and all stuff. So this is what right wing is good at, and they've hijacked this thing, psychology. How they've hijacked this, like for example, there's a disorder called narcissistic personality disorder. And how do you identify somebody has narcissistic disorder? When they behave in certain way. Okay, so what these psychopaths have done is they're making you behave in certain way. And this is once again also a narcissistic thing, when you say that somebody is making you behave. But yes, this is also a thing. So it's like they have hijacked psychology, and they have weaponized the psychology. Weaponization is better term than hijack. So they make you behave in certain way. Like in the last video I told you that the psychologist who says that a lot of people play victim, and they say that people are doing it and they behave paranoid and all the stuff. And this thing holds the psychology when the constant of society are constant. Like government is not corrupted, legal systems are not corrupted. Okay, Supreme Court and all these things have some credibility and trust. What happens when all these institutions they fall apart and they become corrupted? Then how do you establish these things? So this thing can happen, by the way, and this has happened. Do the psychology as they preach still holds when all these things are compromised? I don't think so. So this is what these right wingers, these conspiracy theorists, they've done right now. Now there is a structure, but they have hollowed that structure out. They filled it with their madness covertly. Okay, now this is going on. I can prove it, at least from my country, or even I can show from United States or your UK for the time being. So they have hollowed out the structure and they have filled the material of something else, and they are hiding their crimes and their all that stuff within the loopholes of these institutions and all stuff. So this is what I was getting at, and there's a solution. Still there's a solution for this, all the chaos and all stuff that comes from understanding what human is, what you are, what are favorable things to you, what are unfavorable things for you. Like if you plant a tree or a plant, there are things that a plant need: water, food in the terms of um, manure or other nutrients you feed to your plant, soil and proper environment and all stuff. If there's not a proper environment, no matter what you do, the plant will never germinate and grow and flourish. Okay. In the same way, we are natural organic beings. We also have these conditions. If I lock you into a hot room with restricted oxygen, this and that, for whatever reason, doesn't matter what the excuse is, you will become like you put a plant under the direct sunlight and it destroys it. In the same way, these things, they are doing such with you. So first of all, you have to identify the factors that are affecting you. They can be internal factors or external factors. You have to identify and write them down. And then there are methods that I have explained in this video. You should go toward the end. After three-fourth part is finished, I've explained some techniques, some methods. Nutrition is one. Developing a positive schedule for your day is another. Participating in your exercise, yoga, meditation, or you can join any other exercises. They're important. This is called negentropy or negative of entropy. The chaos that is caused or that is orchestrated is entropy, and to or disorder is entropy. Okay, so you can develop private your private practice. It's not on other people's expense, it should be on your expense. You should develop uh, a system that keeps you healthy, keeps you functional. So I will explain these things in details in the further videos. I had to create this thing like this because that was much scattered and I've used a lot of elements and they were not making any sense like how I wanted. So pardon me for that. I will try to keep things less crowded and less disconnected in a way. Sometimes it happens when I have a lot of things and I have less time. I'm already frustrated. It's really hot here as well. Sometimes these things happen. I hope you understand this, but I will try to keep things more grounded, more integrated, more useful. If you like my video, subscribe to my channel, share with other people, and you can support me by going to detail of this channel. There's a link, buy me a coffee. You can copy this, you can paste it in a browser. This will take you to this page. You can either join or you can give me one coffee, two coffee, five coffee. There's an option probably for like you can donate $1 also if you want. So I think that's enough for today. I should stop here. Thank you so much.